Jenny Gilbert. I'm one of the co-founders of Cairns Turtle Rehabilitation Centre, and here at Fitzroy Island we actually have many turtles. Now the problem was, 13 years ago we set up a rehabilitation centre with the need of a turtle that came in to an aquarium that was very sick. We rehabilitated it. While it was being rehabilitated, they closed the aquarium down and we had to find somewhere for these turtles to go to. So Paul Barnes, who was the curator, and I set up a turtle rehabilitation centre in town. We still have that centre going. It's our intensive care centre. But over the last few years, what happened was, with all the environmental conditions, starting with Cyclone Larry, then we had the wet dry, then we had the floods, and then we had Cyclone Yasi, we had an 800% increase in strandings of turtles. All the rehabilitation centres up the East Coast were full. We had nowhere for them to go. Unfortunately, many animals were turned around and sent back out, and their fate was, of course, they died at sea. So I'd like to introduce you to Doug Gamble, and Doug actually owns Fitzroy Island Resort, and he saw what was happening, he heard what was happening, and he came to our rescue, and he offered us this land here so we could set up another rehabilitation centre. Without this, many more animals would have perished.
Well, I'm very happy to be involved in this project. As Jenny said, I came here initially and it was the appeal of the area, the beauty of the island with the national park, the marine park, the animals and the fish and so forth around it. And I saw the predicament these turtles were in, especially after all the floods and that caused so much emancipation to them. So, very happy to get involved in it. Also, having a commercial background, I realised that to ensure the future of them, we had to have a constant supply of cash coming in, and there were a lot of people out there in the community that wanted to get involved. So our side of it really is, apart from providing the facilities, is ensuring that we've got a flow of guests and people coming through who are happy to make donations towards helping the turtles. It's very important. They've got to feed day by day, week by week. You can't just wait for sponsorship or bite from it randomly now and then. And so people coming through, two benefits. They love to see the turtle, they get involved with it. We say there's a turtle release on the beach, and people will appear from everywhere. It's just amazing passion that these animals create. And by people coming through, there's two sides to it. Firstly, they enjoy coming through and participating and learning about the turtles. Secondly, the turtles benefit from having cash coming in regularly through donations that will provide food for them and help them to back up with the costs of running this operation. But also, very, very importantly, education. People, the more they learn about the turtles, the more they understand the environment that's here, the more they want to get involved, the more they understand the predicament, the more they're prepared to back what is happening. And what is happening here is something really worthwhile. I've just come back from East Indonesia, and I've seen the effect there of dynamiting the reefs for fish. Here we've got the other extent, community right behind wanting to get involved, and we're seeing this now throughout the world, where in places like China, Philippines, Malaysia, where previously turtles were just looked on as a food source, now people are getting passionate about looking after them. That to me is the crux of what we're doing here, the future of these turtles.
Cairns Turtle Rehabilitation Centre has been going for 15 years. For 2 years it was in the aquarium in town. And then, as I said, when we were rehabilitating the turtle and they closed the aquarium down, we had to move into town, and it's been going for 13 years in town. So we've been successful for 13 years. Over that time, we've probably rescued and released up to about 150, 180 turtles. Unfortunately, many turtles that we had in the early days didn't make it, because before people realised that when a turtle was on the surface and it was struggling, that it was good to see a turtle on the surface. Now people realise that when a turtle is actually on the surface, it's in trouble. So we're getting turtles in a lot earlier now, and with that, we're actually, our rehabilitation and release has gone up. We started off, we used to have about a 30-35% success rate of release, and now we're up to about 85. Unfortunately, those numbers have gone down because of the starvation. With these turtles now coming in, that we've had in with starvation over the inshore seagrass beds being decimated with environmental conditions, We've lost a lot more than we normally would. But in saying that, we've also had great successes. We've had some come in which are absolutely just totally emaciated, and we brought them back. They're healthy, they're out here recovering, and they'll be released, which is fantastic. Also, when a turtle first comes in, we're lucky that they go to Marlon Coast Vet Hospital and they donate all of their veterinary expertise and drugs for nothing. Without this, the rehabilitation wouldn't be possible.
How important is education in the local communities? And I mean, obviously here is what is going to happen at this facility. So how important is education in encompassing the local communities? And what are your plans for that as far as education so people can change their mind about how they feel about the turtles?
So through education, which I've been doing probably for the last 10 years, education and media, people are now realising that these animals really do have a problem. They're starving, they're bringing them in. Also, I do a lot of education through schools, talking to school groups, and that's the grassroots. You get in with these kids and they see what happens to the turtles, they see the pride of the turtles, and many kids want to become involved, which is great. Also through the Indigenous communities, we're doing a lot of education with the Indigenous communities. We've actually set up triage centres so far in 3 Indigenous communities, and these people want to help. They want to get turtles when they're in trouble, they want to help them. They've got a triage centre set up where they can have them there until they can come to a rehabilitation centre. That again is fantastic for education because they're learning about them, they're trying to save them, and they're bringing them up here.
On Fitzroy Island, what are your feelings about? What are your plans for your visitors to your beautiful resort here and the education of turtles in this facility?
It's already proven very popular coming and seeing the turtles and learning about what's involved, and also learning about how successful the rehabilitation is doing, and also the effort that the volunteers have to put in. But in regards to people coming to see them, access is now a lot easier. We have ferries running across 3 times a day from the Cairns to here, so we can get the turtles here or get them back. People can get here during the daytime, or they can stay overnight. So they've got the option of coming over, having a look at the beauty of the island and having a look at the turtles and going home. Or they can come here and stay overnight and look at the turtles and do other things on the island as you would if you're staying here for a holiday. So that having that ability to come over here in only 45 minutes from the city and return again later on the same day in a large, fast catamaran ferry, and also only for the visitors from interstate and overseas, 10 minutes from the airport to town, and come down, get on the ferry, come across here and back. It opens up huge potential for visitors, interstate, overseas, as well as local schools and then we're developing a camping area where we'll have facilities, not only people can come and bring their own tents, but they can also have safari-style tents set up there with tents and mattresses where all they've got to do is come and stay in the place and then go. So it opens up a much bigger market for schools, for young people, for people that want to camp, people that want to stay in the resort. And so by combining those facilities together, it opens up more people coming here to look at the turtles.
Do you notice that a lot of the visitors that come to your beautiful resort are people with sustainable, they want to go to a place that offers more than just your natural resort, a normal resort. People are very conscious. Are you finding that a lot of people who come because they are conscious about environment and they want to be participating in?
Yeah, and there's an interesting thing that's happening that not only, well, perhaps if I go back to the 4 main attractions for people coming to the resort, is close proximity to the town and the international airport, and the close proximity to the marine park around here, including the turtles, the close proximity to the national park on the island, and then seeing the animals and the fish that are here. So the turtles are very much part of that attraction, part of that education, and overall, to answer your question, people love coming here where the turtles are part of the experience of coming
Because
here.
it's responsible tourism.
Yeah.
Because people go away with more than they came with.
exactly.
And that's very important as an example to other tour operators. It's extremely important in today's society.
Yes.
So I commend you on that. That's
The
fantastic.
other thing interesting, following up on what you're saying, is the changing attitudes. And there are new markets developing here. The world is always changing. The current new market coming over is the Chinese market. And it's very interesting that China 10 years ago, the bulk of people were from rural areas, hadn't even seen the sea, and the focus was just bluntly 10 years ago, survival. A bowl of rice, something to eat, look after the security of their families. Now those young people are growing up with more affluent conditions where they can afford holidays, they can afford to have the clothes they like, afford to meet with their friends in the coffee shops they like, opportunities they never had before, and all of a sudden that young generation with the changing attitudes where it's enjoying and understanding the world rather than just survival, they are becoming very, very conscious of the environment, and they are very, very keen on seeing these turtles. 10 years ago, that wouldn't have happened. So it's an evolving, changing thing where this educational aspect of having the turtles here is spreading around the world to the new economies, not just the established.
And the economies that need the education.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a very positive. Oh, and you know, we saw whales coming over today. A
Heaps
mom
of
and a
whales.
baby. Heaps of, yeah, a lot of beautiful whales. I'm back. Yeah, I have
Yesterday,
video.
We had the fishing comp, game fishing comp, where they go out and tag and release. They don't catch and eat. And there were 6 whales, one after another, came through in front of the resort. Last year, one of the humpbacks gave birth right outside the front of our resort. So the turtles is only a small part of this whole environment and this experience. So people come here, they see what we're doing to rehabilitate the turtles. And by we, I mean the organisation. And then they see around here the fish coming in near the jetty, which we encourage the fish to come in with lighting, and that's so people will look at them. We'll ban fishing off the jetty, which people initially were against, but now they're fully supportive of. They see the whales coming in, and a turtle sighting or a whale sighting, suddenly people will come from everywhere. They want to see it. There's a buzz, there's an excitement, and that's all part of the educational thing. So these turtles very much fit into that, encouraging that interest in the
For
environment.
the first 6 years, Paul and I were there by ourselves, so we got one volunteer. Through education, through the caring, and people really care about the marine environment now, and they saw the plight of these animals on TV. We now have 45 dedicated volunteers which give their time, and if they come over to Fitzroy Island, 2 of them come over all day, and in town they're there for half a day, and we have 45 very dedicated volunteers, and we have a waiting list for people wanting to volunteer. So it shows over the time that the care that people are actually doing with looking after the environment. So for years we've taken from, and now everybody's giving back, which is wonderful. And it's a wonderful thing for these turtles that people care, that they want to give their time to look after them. In a situation where many of them are very, very sick, and it takes anywhere between 6 months to 2 years to rehabilitate a turtle and to release it back out into the wild.
So why don't you tell everybody how to get here, because this is going to be going all over the world.
Okay.
Where they fly into, how they get here.
That's a Doug one.
Right. Easy to get here. You either fly in direct international to Cairns Airport, get on a taxi into town 10 minutes, get on a ferry, come out here in another 45 minutes. If you land in Sydney, Brisbane, and Telstra in Australia, there's heaps of domestic flights that come up to Cairns from all those places. It's easy to get here. In this modern day, all you've got to do is get on the internet, make the booking and come.
And you'll meet them at the dock, Doug?
We'll meet them at the dock. I'd be very happy, anyone that's interested in the turtles. I live here. I've lived here for 4 years on the island. If they just send us an email to the resort, I personally would be happy to meet them.
And what's that email? Tell us your website.
The website's very easy. Normal www, one word, lowercase, FitzroyIsland.com.
And that's right behind your head there. There you go. .com. Perfect.
And the other email, if they want to email me, and and ask me what's happening and how to get over to Fitzroy is all lowercase, Jennifer, Jennifer, .Gilbert, GILBERT, at my.jcu.edu.au.
We'll just make sure we tag that into the
I
video.
don't want to upstage you for once in your life, but Fitzroy.com is a lot easier.
I know.
We will forward them onto your
I know it
address.
is a lot easier.
We've got an Aussie domestic live on camera.
So, I suppose in the end of it, without Doug, these animals would have had a dreadful fight and they wouldn't have had anywhere. And without our volunteers and without people looking for these animals and actually searching now for animals out there that are sick. And when they find them, they're notifying the right authorities and they're getting them in here. Without that, we would have lost a lot more turtles than we have.
So we've got the right model to make this work. We've got a public that is passionate about looking after these animals. We've got volunteers that are passionate about looking after these animals. And we've got a commercial operation here that's passionate looking after these animals. So just get on that email, contact us, tell us you're coming to look at the turtles. I think that should be pointed out very clearly.
We're a totally voluntary organisation.
Totally volunteer organisation.
That relies on
You've
public
got the
funding.
non-profit.
Yep. Yeah, we've now got a charitable status
So
and we
that-
just rely on donations from the public and from local companies.
So
So
any
how do people
donation-
donate? They can contact you at the same email?
Yes, either of us.
Either of you? Okay.
If they want to get on to either of our websites or email addresses, we'll send them the details and that sort of thing. But yes, it's very important that if people want to come and see them, it's not about money. You'll never pay the amount that is needed per turtle to get it out there. It's about coming and being involved. The donations we look for people coming in here are $5 a head. It's not, no one has ever said anything about, the answers always been, what else can we do? They want to get involved. So it's
$1
not,
million would be great.
well, Jennifer what is the rest of it? She would be
See what
very,
we have to put up with?
she would be very happy to get donations towards helping these turtles. It does cost a lot of money, but it's not the money it's about. It's the education, people getting involved, people getting passionate. So you send them here, we'll look after them.
There's a lot of organisations claim to save turtles and seek donations, but it'd be advantageous to you too. The donations that come directly
Yes.
to both of you. It actually is used on the ground,
It's on
no
the ground.
administration costs.
There's another one that's been set up south, but we're us and them, and they're a new one. We're the only totally voluntary organisation in Queensland that no one here gets paid. Everybody just does this from the bottom of their heart to save these animals. And each animal costs between $2,000 and $10,000 to rehabilitate. An animal in for 6 months is about $2,000 with all of its food and care and everything. And if we haven't put a satellite tracker on some of them, because some of them we want to know what's happened to them. Beforehand we used to release them, we didn't know what happened to them. We've satellite tracked 12 of them so far. It's expensive, but at least we know where they're feeding, what's happening with these animals, and the success of rehabilitation. But satellite trackers are expensive. They're $6,000 with the airtime.
And you might ask, why spend so much on individual animals when there's a much bigger picture? The essence of it is by learning about them and by being able to direct and focus what money is spent on them to where it will succeed, and by people getting to know about it and getting passionate about it. That's what it's all about. So the educational part about it is critical. We would not, all of us, be spending so much time on these animals if we weren't passionate about it and didn't want others to become passionate.
While we've been doing the interview, Doug, there's a turtle here that's been trying to get your attention. Is there a bit of is there a love affair going on here?
No, but they just love attention. They love you just stroking them, and they'll come back time and time again. They come to me better than they come to Jennifer.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Just remember that these animals are wild animals. They're not trained pets. They would not be coming to us like this unless they felt comfortable, unless they felt safe with us. let's not, let's be very blunt about it. They are wild animals and they love our attention because they know we're looking after them. I don't know how they do, but they do. You just see that, the way they just come to us.
You happy?
I'm happy,
And I suppose the main thing is education is conservation.
absolutely.
And it's your environment, but you're going to have to work for it.
And it's your environment, and you're going to have to work for it.